It's a very good morning to you, Lighthouse. Once again, it's my honor to be able to share the word with you today. Today, I've got a very interesting title, which is called My Heart. As I stand before you today, I'm reminded of the power of God's love and mercy in my life. I grew up with a heart that was hardened by the scars of my past. My father left Malawi for Zimbabwe chasing a dream of a better life. But it was cut short when he fell ill and subsequently passed away. I was just a toddler, left with a family that was not kind enough. As a child, I suffered abuse and neglect, and my heart sank and became a fortress, protecting me from the pain, but also blocking out the love and joy that life had to offer. I thought that was my story, that I was forever bound by the chains of my past. However, God had other plans. As a teenager, ambitiously I migrated to the city, seeking refuge in the streets, and found myself in the company of a group of gangsters, which I call home. But God, in His infinite mercy and grace, reached out to me and transformed my life. He took my hardened heart and gave me a new one, a heart that beats for Him. As I reflect on my life today, I'm reminded of the words in Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? My heart was sick, but God healed it. He took my brokenness and made me whole. In Psalms 51, verse 6 to 10, again reading from the ESV, picking up from verse 6, behold, you delight in truth in the inward being, and you teach me wisdom in the secret heart. 7, purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Verse 8, let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones that you have broken rejoice. 9, hide your face from my sins and blot out all my iniquities. 10, create in me a clean heart. I'll repeat again here. Verse 10, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. I remember many years ago singing this song. Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. I could go on and on, friends, but Psalms 51 is a powerful reminder that our hearts need God's transformation. We see David crying out to God, create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. David knew that his heart was prone to sin and needed God's intervention. Why would you need God's intervention, friends? It is because our hearts are complex. In Jeremiah 10 In Jeremiah 17, verse 10, I beg your pardon, says, I, the Lord, search the heart and test the mind. Our hearts are complex, and only God can fully understand them. We may try to hide our true selves, but God sees right through us. The heart needs transformation. Friends, Ezekiel 36:26 says, I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you. I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you the heart of flesh. We need God's transformation to soften our hearts and make us more like Him. I remember many years ago, a very famous preacher saying he wishes at times if he could pluck out his heart, put it on a table, and then lash it or give it a beating, because there are things that he noticed in his life, actions that he noticed, which didn't align well with the scriptures. The heart's condition affects our actions. Friends, whatever we do in life, because we do not see, the heart is a hidden organ in our bodies which cannot be seen by anyone. It's not easy to say to someone, look at that beautiful heart, because it cannot be seen. But however, we can almost denote the condition of one's heart through their actions. It's in Matthew 15, verse 18 to 20, which says, friends, but what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this defiles the person. For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, slander. Our heart's condition determines our character and behavior. As we prepare to land, friends, these are some of the things that we ought to consider. Because whether we are born again or not, our hearts continue to require the Lord's touch to soften them. We need God's transformation, renewal, and guidance to navigate life's challenges. Because often of what we go through in this life, like what I went through as a young man or as a toddler, it hardened my heart. Oh God. So we see David. We need to cry out like David, who said, create a clean heart in me, oh God, and renew the right spirit within me. Here's one important point to remember, dear friends. God gives us a new heart, but that can still be hurt or dirtied. So often we think if God gives us a new heart, we are immune to hurt and some of the challenges until we come face to face with them and we get affected. So yeah, God gives us a new heart, but that can still be hurt and dirtied. May we surrender our hearts to God and ask Him to soften them, making us more like Him. Here are some of the reflections, friends, that we might need to consider. You need to reflect on the condition of your heart. Are there areas that need God's transformation? Surrender your heart to God and ask Him to soften it. Seek God's guidance and renewal daily. The fourth reflection, guard your heart. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. If I read from the NIV. But the ESV makes a punch. It says, keep your heart with all vigilance. Some of you may find this expression, keep, confusing. But this speaks to alertness. Friends, means we need to guard, we need to pay attention to issues that might end up contaminating our hearts. The fifth reflection is we ought to seek encouragement from others, friends, who stay faithful to the Lord. Seek encouragement from others to stay faithful to the Lord. I beg your pardon. We see this in Hebrews 3, verse 12 to 13. See to it, brothers and sisters, that none of you has a sinful, unbelieving heart that turns away from the living God. Then verse 13 says, but encourage one another daily, as long as it is called today, so that none of you may be hardened by sin's deceitfulness. So we are called, friends, to make sure we guard jealously our hearts, because out of our heart flows the issues of life. I pray God would help us as we go through the challenges in this life, that our hearts will remain pure in all intended purposes. Whatever we do, we must do it wholeheartedly. If you sing well. If you are in the hospitality team, do it well with a pure heart and a clean motive and intention. May God bless you. Amen.